Here's the thing about the Microsoft PL-300 Power BI Data Analyst exam. Microsoft loves 4-option questions where every answer is a real Power BI feature. The one you pick comes down to whether you know which feature does which exact thing. Column quality versus distribution. SAMEPERIOD last year versus previous year. Calculate versus calculatable. Today, 10 real exam-style questions. At least 2 of these will catch you off guard. Let's find out which ones. Welcome to PrepMyCert. This is the Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst Associate Certification, PL-300. 10 questions. 10 chances to test yourself before the real thing. Let's go. Starting with Power Query Data Profiling. The trap is the keyword count. Your Power BI semantic model has values showing as errors. You want Power Query's data profiling to surface the count of errors per column at a glance. Which feature? B. Column quality. It shows 3 percentages per column, valid, error, and empty right at the top of each column header. Exactly the at-a-glance error count you need. Column distribution shows the count of distinct and unique values, which is about uniqueness, not errors. Formula bar is for editing M code. Monospaced is just a display option for cell text. Now reducing an import mode model size. Without slowing queries, that's the constraint. An import mode Power BI semantic model is too large. Shrink it without slowing report queries. Best action? A. Remove unnecessary columns. VertiPack stores data column by column in memory. Dropping unused columns directly reduces the memory footprint, and since those columns weren't being queried, performance stays identical. Unpivoting reshapes data but doesn't necessarily reduce size. Renaming changes nothing. Direct query would slow every query because each one hits the live source. DAX time intelligence for year-over-year. 2 functions sound very similar, but only one preserves the period. You need a DAX measure for year-over-year revenue comparison, same month in the prior year. Which time intelligence function? D. SAMEPERIOD last year. It shifts dates back exactly 1 year while preserving the current filter's period length. March 2025 maps to March 2024. Previous year expands the filter to the whole previous calendar year, so you'd compare March 2025 to all of 2024 wrong. Next year is the future direction. Parallel period shifts by an arbitrary interval, but doesn't lock to year-over-year semantics. Now calculate versus calculatable. They're related, but only one returns a scalar. Create a measure that shows sales for blue units while maintaining the existing filter context. Which DAX function? A. Calculate. It evaluates an expression with modified filter context. Layer the color filter on top of existing filters. The measure returns a scalar. Calculatable does the same for table expressions, not for scalar measures. Max and sum are aggregators. They don't modify filter context. Clickable links in a table visual. Data categories, conditional formatting, URL icons. Power BI has 3 related options. 1 is the foundation. A table visual needs to display website names as clickable links to the URL. Columns, website name, and URL. Which feature? A. Data categories. Set the URL column's data category to web URL in the data model. Then apply conditional formatting on website name referencing the URL column. The friendly text becomes clickable. URL icons display a tiny link icon instead of the text. Conditional formatting alone can't enable links without the URL category set. Inline hierarchy labels are about drill-down display. Trends over time with 2 measures. Multiple chart types could work. Only one is the textbook answer. You need a visualization comparing revenue and cost over time. Best chart? C. Line chart. 2 distinct lines on the same axis, easy to compare slopes and gaps. The canonical chart for trends over time with multiple measures. Waterfall shows cumulative changes, not paired trends. Stacked area piles them, hiding the comparison. Donut is for parts of a whole, not time series. Accessibility for a Power BI page. Tab order is the right answer, and 3 plausible decoys. Some users navigate your single-page report with keyboards, others with screen readers. They need to consume content in a logical order. What do you configure? D. Tab order. Controls the sequence in which keyboards and screen readers focus visuals on the page. That's the dedicated accessibility primitive. Layer order is z-axis, front/back. X-position is just horizontal placement. Bookmark order sequences saved views, not on-page navigation. Now dynamic row-level security. The salesperson sees wrong rows. How do you debug what they're seeing? You published a dataset with dynamic RLS using username. The sales role filters by salesperson. A salesperson reports wrong rows. How do you reproduce what they see? A. Use test as role and view as the salesperson's user account. Test as role lets you specify both the role and a user account. Power BI simulates username and use CRPRI and CIPLNME for that user. Just viewing as the sales role uses placeholder values, which won't surface the user-specific filter bug. Opening in desktop won't apply the RLS the same way. Filtering visuals doesn't validate the RLS expression. Workspace contact list. The trap is reaching for a role because they need notifications. You want Group 1 notified when there are issues in Workspace 1, refresh failures, access problems. Minimum permissions. What do? B. Update the Workspace contact list to include Group 1. The contact list is the dedicated channel for issue notifications, refresh failures, gateway problems, access requests. Adding the group grants notifications without granting any management rights. Any workspace role, admin, member, contributor, gives unnecessary permissions to people who only need to receive alerts. Last one. Gateway dropdown is empty when configuring scheduled refresh. The fix is one detail in the P/X. You publish a dataset to Power BI service with on-prem SQL Server. Scheduled refresh fails, you can't select the data gateway. You have permissions, gateway is set up, but the dropdown is empty. What's the likely cause? B. The PBX file server name doesn't match the data source name in the gateway. They must match exactly. Even FQDN versus short name or casing differences break the binding, and the drop-down silently filters those gateways out. SQL Server is fully supported. Invalid credentials would let you select the gateway but fail at refresh time. Single sign-on doesn't hide the option. That's all 10. So how did you do? 8 or more and you're in solid shape for the PL-300 exam. 7 or below, that's exactly why you're here. The trick now is you know where the traps are. Comment your score below. I want to see how everyone did. If you want the full experience, hundreds of questions just like these, with detailed explanations for every single answer, check out PrepMyCert.com. Lifetime access, one payment, full refund if you don't pass. The link is right there in the description. Go crush that exam.